Today it is time to talk about an anime series that steadies its blade, its sharp blade, and strikes you down with great direction, great animation, and even a better story. It's time to talk about one of the best anime of the season, and possibly one of the best of the year. It's time to talk about Vinland Saga. What is going on, party people? It is I, Femensho, back at it once again with another entry in the weekly anime update. Today we are talking all about Vinland Saga. Now, this series I haven't been able to talk to since it aired. We're on episode 5 now. 5 came out as of the recording of this video, which is Sunday. And I think right off the bat, the first thing I want to say is each episode of this series has gotten better and better. Like, a lot better and better, if that makes any sense at all. The first episode was extremely good, but it was a little slow. The second episode was a little faster, but still extremely good. The third episode introduced action and stakes. We were scared for our characters. The fourth episode, those stakes are raised even higher, and then there's kind of like a conclusion to a sort of story arc that just delivers on so many levels. And then the fifth episode, it's all about the desperation. It's all about just the anguish within our main character, Thorfin. Now, I was blown away. I think the fifth episode almost brought me to tears. Like, I was just simply blown away. Another thing I want to say is, there really doesn't exist an anime quite like this one. I don't think there exists a manga quite like this one. My history with this series, believe it or not, my little brother got really into the manga. I don't really know what enticed him to buy the first volume, but he did. He got it at Barnes & Noble. He got the first couple, and I perused through them. I never got really into it. He was always telling me, you gotta read it, man. You've got to. It's so good. I cannot wait for an anime series. And I never really paid attention to that, and I regret it, definitely. But now that the anime has come out, he's raving about it. I'm raving about it. Kind of everyone's raving about it, but not enough people are raving about it because Amazon, again, doesn't really promote their anime series very well. We saw this happen time and time again with like Dororo, with Banana Fish, with so many great series that would have done a lot better and would have become a lot more successful if they were on, say, Crunchyroll or Funimation or Toonami or things like that. It's kind of sad that Amazon doesn't push their shows harder because Amazon is a fantastic streaming service filled with a lot of great series. I love Mrs. Maisel. I love The Boys is a recent show that's super good as well. No pun intended there. And it's weird that they don't promote their anime. Because I think that they have some of the best anime on the market right now, and it's strange. It really is. I hope in the future Amazon pushes their anime lineup a little bit harder and promotes it. You know, put that stuff in some ads or something. I don't know. Anyway, Vinland is excellent. It is absolutely excellent. My favorite part about the series is just how different it feels. As I was mentioning earlier, we really get a sense of sort of the landscape and sort of the setting of this story right off the bat. We are hit in the face with it. These like huge grassy plains. You know, we're in the real world. Iceland, Greenland, those kinds of locations, England, and it's showcased in a way that's just very striking. And again, I've mentioned how much I love Wit Studio time and time again in my videos. I don't know how Wit Studio does it. I truly don't. Right off the heels of an amazing season of Attack on Titan, just one of the best seasons of Attack on Titan, and then right after that we have Vinland Saga, which just looks incredible. It truly does. It looks absolutely awesome, and it's not like in-your-face Sakuga. It's not, you know, crazy cuts. There are those crazy cuts in the series. We've seen a couple of them, but for the most part, it is just astronomical amount of polish, amount of just insanely good backgrounds, really good CG too. Some of the 3D shots with like that revolve around the boats and things like that, they look so good, and it doesn't take me out of the series or anything like that. I actually think they're doing a better job in terms of animation with this series than they did with Attack on Titan. Obviously, you know, Attack on Titan has more of the sort of in-your-face, great animation, but this series just has, I think, a little bit more polish and a little bit more refinement. I'm not sure, you know, if a similar staff is working on this. I'm sure these are different people, so, you know, comparing them is a little pointless. Regardless, Wit is one of the best studios in the business, and they continue to prove that time and time again. And I'm just blown away by the animation of this series. I think that the composition is really well, and also the direction. There's so many great shots. One of my favorite shots is after episode 4, in episode 4, where we see Thorfin and Askeladd on the two boats. How Thorfin kind of just boarded their crew, and he's just among them now, which is a really awesome turn of events. It makes sense for his character. His motivation now is vengeance. That is what he's after. He wants to kill Askeladd for slaying his father, disrespectfully slaying his father. And I love that sort of character moment where he just decides, I'm gonna go after these guys. I know I'm weak, but I'm gonna go after them. And he does it. And just this shot of him on the boat just staring Askeladd's crew down, man, that is a powerful, powerful shot. And again, these are obviously frames that are taken from the manga, but the way it's integrated in the anime, the way the soundtrack just swells up, the ocean, the water, just powerful, powerful stuff. Just the very opening of the series, seeing Thors taking on basically an entire army by himself, was really, really powerful, and was just a fantastic way to sort of introduce this series to us. These are the kinds of battles that we're going to see in this series, and this is Thors. This is the main character's father. We get to just see why he is who he is today, why he doesn't fight, why he doesn't kill anymore. And in episode 4, when we see him fight all of Askeladd's men, he doesn't kill a single one of them. He takes them all out with ease without even drawing bloodshed. And I really like Thors as a character, and it was really sad to see him go. It was really sad that death was powerful because of the way they built him up, because they built him up as this, just such a charismatic character. He reminds me of Captain America, honestly, just beating the crap out of these guys, but doing it in a respectful manner. I don't really know how to explain it. I mean, obviously it makes them look like fools, but it's just, I don't know, it reminds me of a really great martial arts movie where the master just comes in and just wipes the floor with everyone with a smile on his face, and he's like, good luck next time. One of those kinds of guys. And I love those types of characters, and I love how much me as a viewer connected with Thors before his death, and now we understand, the kind of father he was. He was a very good father. I mean, obviously, he was stern and very serious and things like that, but for the most part, he raised a really good family. That's the thing. You see the beginning of the series, you see him killing all these people, and then we jump to the family, in the ice and everything like that, and we expect him to treat his family like crap, hit his wife, beat his kids, things like that. But no, absolutely not. He's an absolute gentleman and a sweetheart. And I love that so much. I love that. It's the war didn't teach him how to be a bad person. It taught him the values of being a good person. And I think that's really important. And I think that's something that we don't see in a lot of entertainment at all. Most of the time, a character that fights in the war and sees all these bad things just becomes a terrible person, but instead he went the other direction because he did those things, because he saw those bad things. And I really, really love that. I really do. And again, just, Thorfinn's reaction to his father's death throughout episode 4, throughout episode 5 especially, was just powerful. The background, the shot where he gets off the boat, where Askeladd's men, they land at the island, they're going to rest their bones, they're going to pillage, the land and basically murder an entire village. Thorfinn gets off the boat there, and he just kind of wanders around. I think they're in some part of England, or on the outskirts of England or something, and he's just wandering around these forests, and he's just bitter, and he's filled with anger and just anguish. You see the emotion, the sound. I'm getting a little emotional. I swear to God, I'm getting a little emotional just thinking about it right now. The soundtrack just swells up, and he's going up the hill, and then he rolls down. That's the point of the series where, episode 5, I realize I really, really love this. I love this. It's not just great animation. It's not, great direction. It's not just wit, just pushing out great work as they always do. It's a story that's resonating within me. It's a story that I'm understanding, and I feel for the characters. This is a series and a type of setting and, types of characters that can easily get bogged down by over-explanation, over-complication, the stuff with Thorkel and Floki and things like that. Those are, that sort of betrayal there. It's easily something that you could have been lost in, but the way wit just presented the series, the way everything just flows right. I get it. Every single thing I'm understanding as the series is progressing. Every episode, it doesn't like cram you with information or anything like that. It's just right off the bat, there's a story to be told. And I feel like every single episode is telling that story so properly. And episode 5 especially, just seeing Thorfin sort of grow as a character. Now, I don't know how much time has passed. I believe maybe like a few days, probably like 4 or 5 days at the most, on this sort of island while Askeladd's men are resting up and again, murdering people and drinking and laughing and all that stuff. Thorfin, he's training. He's becoming a stronger character. He's becoming filled with more resolve. Obviously, he's still immature. Obviously, he has much, much more to go because we see at the end when he's facing Askeladd. But just the way they fit all this in one episode, we get two duels with Askeladd in the episode. One, he gets absolutely destroyed, and then the second one, he realizes his strengths. He is a more nimble, fast fighter with the knife that his father gave him, than the heavy blade where he's just, lugging it around and it's not doing it for him. And I love how that was translated within the animation, within the direction. We see the wolf attack. Oh my god, the wolf attack was just... I got so tense there. I got so, on the edge of my seat because it was just so well directed, and I love episode 5 so much. I'm not even gonna lie, these first 5 episodes are some of the best anime I've seen this year. And I'm comparing this to Attack on Titan, I'm comparing this to Dororo, I'm comparing this to Mob Psycho, to everything that I've watched, Promised Neverland, everything that I've watched this year. These are some of the best episodes of anime I've seen in recent memory. I love it. I absolutely love it. And again, as I mentioned, you have that pedigree with Wit Studio, but it's more than that. The mangaka's story is just shining here. His character development is shining here. And it's just, that is what's really just resonating with me. The fact that it has great animation, has that polish, has that pedigree, as I mentioned, just solidifies its place in the upper echelon of anime that's currently airing. I made a video last week called Fire Force vs. Dr. Stone, and at the end of that video I mentioned that I'm pretty sure Vinland Saga beats these by a long shot. That's a battle that's happening way down there. Vinland Saga's way up here. It's even higher now. It's higher up that echelon. I think that this is going to go down as one of the best anime series of the year, easily. And again, this is a year that's had some insanely good series like Promised Neverland, Dororo, and of course the incredible Attack on Titan. So I love Vinland Saga, as I mentioned. I don't know where the story's going. I'm led to believe that there's going to be some kind of time skip happening in the series due to the opening. Also, what's the band called? Something about the Prophet survived, said the Prophet or something like that, from Banana Fish, which is cool to see them here in another Amazon series, unfortunately. But it's cool to see them here. I like the opening. I didn't like it at first. It's probably my least favorite part about the series, but it's growing on me because of the excellent animation and the way we see the character growing throughout it, and we're kind of going back and forth. You see his home life, you see him on the battlefield. I really, really like that. I don't know when that time skip is going to happen. I'm guessing before the end of the first core. That's my biggest guess, because it just makes the most sense, because we're jumping into a second opening, and in this opening we do see Thorfinn older facing off against Askeladd with 2 knives. Does he get 2 knives later, or is he still just using the single knife? I don't quite know. Let's talk about the series in the comments below. Get your predictions down there. Get your overall thoughts on these first 5 episodes. I know I've been just rambling on here. I kind of just wanted to talk about just the show as a whole as of right now and how it's resonating with me. The characters, again, Thorfinn, Thors, and even his sister in this episode, in episode 5, his sister coming through. She was obviously, a cool character to begin with, but adding that emotion to her, she was just working and distracting herself from grief. I love that so much, and the way that just works in this episode. There's so much going on in the episode, and it just works because of that great direction. I gotta figure out who's working on this series, who's doing that series comp, who's on the director's helm, and because they deserve all the commands in the world. It's just fantastic. It really is. Leif Erikson, his character as well, is just super lovable. I'm guessing he's gonna hunt down Thorfin. I'm guessing that is his goal. He obviously said that, but I'm guessing that that's going to be a big serious point, is he's going to kind of follow his tracks. He's probably going to go to that island and see that, hey, maybe Thorfin was here, maybe he's there, and I don't think they're going to meet up for years. I don't think he just said, I will track him down for as many years as I have to. I don't think that was said just to say that, oh, I care about him and I'm going to go to the ends of the world. I think that's to say that this is legit going to take years to track him down. And I love that sort of, that drop there. You know, I think that every single piece of dialogue in this series has a way of conveying a message, you know, to the viewer that's saying, hey, this is the direction that we're going in. Get excited. And I certainly am excited. Anyway, as I mentioned, comment below. Give me your thoughts on everything Vinland Saga. Please, 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 please try to stay away from spoilers. I know you guys, my viewership is very respectful of that, and, you know, I always appreciate that. Don't just say, oh, Thorfinn dies, chapter 5, blah, blah, blah. I don't want to hear it. I'm excited. I'm engrossed in this series. Your comment will be removed. Just please, let's just talk about these first 5 episodes, and some predictions here and there are perfectly fine. So, yeah, thank you very much for watching. As always, I really appreciate your viewership. I really appreciate you being here. It means the world to me. And hit the like button if you enjoyed anything that I had to talk about today, and subscribe for more entries in the weekly anime update, and of course your video game video here and there. As I mentioned, thank you for watching, and until next time, until next week, I'll see you later. Bye-bye.